want answers.
I want the truth.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Real Lies podcast. I am your host, Georgina Grace. I'm so excited to be here with you. The guest that I have for you today is such a freaking epic human being. You will love her. Right off the bat, I am predicting right here, right now, that you are going to love this human being. This woman is a ruling 33, so 30/3. And right there, just from that information, you know that whatever comes out of this woman's mouth is the truth. Like the kind of truth you don't need to question because it just resonates as truth within your own body. This is the level of truth that she speaks. It's like gospel. Not that I'm religious, not that she's religious, but, you know, you can count on whatever comes out of her mouth. The truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. I'm so rambling right now. She is a 33 ruling number. That means she is also super funny, hilarious, very witty, very quick, very sharp, super intelligent. She's a channeler from multi-dimensional places. She is very, creative and just a really freaking epic human being. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's running a business. She's the shit, okay? This woman is the freaking shit. So I want you to give a warm welcome to Georgina Grace. Gotcha. I am today's guest on this podcast, and I am going to be talking to you all about numerology and the power of the energy of this month. So I hope you had a little chuckle to yourself at my absolute ridiculousness with my little intro there. But how could I resist doing that? I could not resist doing that, okay? Because I am all those things. I am freaking funny. Hello, if you're not laughing by now, then there's something wrong with you, not me, okay? Okay, all right. See, I literally do not need another living thing to have an insane conversation. I don't need it. Let me get to today's topic. I wrote myself a list so that I could keep myself on freaking point, okay, which is really, really, see, I can't even say it. That's how freaking challenging it is for me. So right now it says intro, keep it funny, keep it light. Those are my notes. So I wanted to record this solo episode. So I was actually excited to do, and I'm going to look at the freaking camera this time because last time I did a solo episode, I was looking down the whole time, although that was quite a heavy conversation that I had with myself again. All right, see what happens? Going off again. But I wanted to do this because the energy in September is so freaking intense and epic that I actually just needed to dedicate an entire podcast to the energy of this month. And maybe I'll do this more regularly. Who knows? But I'm just going with the flow and going with letting the energy take me where it wants to take me. And so in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about the energy of September, and I'm going to right a lot of wrongs right. I don't know if that came out right, but anyway, I'm going with it. So I'm going to right some wrongs. There you go. It came eventually about the universal energy of this month, what it actually means, and what this means for you, but what it means for the world and where we're at as much as I can. And I might touch on some stuff from the energy in August and even potentially where we're headed, where we're going. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I wanted to also start this episode before I actually get into it, letting you all know that the next intake of the numerology course, we kick off on the 18th of September, which is a Wednesday evening from 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, which is Sydney, Melbourne time. So if you listen to this episode and you're like, far out, like, I'm feeling so freaking called to have this information at my fingertips, literally, and being empowered with this knowledge in whatever capacity you may feel that you can use it. Because here's the thing about numerology and numbers is it literally runs the world. Really, everything happens on a date, and everything that happens has a name, right? And those two things form the basis of what I call a contract. Well, for human beings, it's an incarnation contract, right? It's when you create something and it happens on a date and it has a name, all of a sudden this thing is now manifested into the physical reality, and it now has existence based off of those two things. It's the two first things that we receive when we are born, when we incarnate into this reality, is our numbers, right? And so something that I say to people in my readings that I find absolutely crazy is that from the day we are born, right, if you were going to go and go bungee jumping tomorrow, right, they'd have you sign a waiver before that experience. Okay, we live in a consent-based universe, so we had to have consented before this experience. We signed a waiver, right? We agreed to everything. And that agreement was formed in numbers. Now, numbers for us gives us access to actually understand the frequency, the energetics of this universe, of this reality. Okay, but we are but a very small speck in the grand scheme of all of the energetics that exist everywhere. Like, we really have not touched the surface, whether it's in science or whatever, of actually how vast the multiverse is. Anyway, so numbers are oh my gosh, go away. Stop popping up. Corey, you have to edit this part out. No, stay in the call. Numbers are not only the physical manifestation of energy, right? Everything in this world, in this universe, in this reality that exists is energy. Nothing is solid as we perceive it. I mean, this is just irrefutable now. It's been proven so many times by science. Like, it's just like, if you don't believe this, then I'm sorry, what hope is there for you, okay? And it's not even something you need to believe. It just is, okay? We are all energy. And numbers are the physical manifestation of that energy. Not only are they the physical manifestation of that energy, they are the first physical manifestation of energy. This is what I believe to be true, is that literally it goes energy form, the next stop is numbers, and then anything beyond that is a further interpretation of the original, the OG. Okay, so when we incarnate here, the very first thing, of course, we receive when we physically manifest ourselves, our being, our bodies, whatever, when our energy physically manifests here, the very first thing we receive is numbers. Numbers are the first stop. Okay, those two things, your date of birth and the name given, aka that your soul chose at birth, right, form the basis of what I call this incarnation contract. Now, anytime something happens on a date, is the date of birth, right? And anything that happens has a name, has letters. Letters represent numbers. Okay, those two things, you've just incarnated something into existence. No matter what it is, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a business, whether it's a freaking car or like whatever it is, the moment something happens and it happens nothing, give me an example of something that has happened that has not happened on a date. Okay. And if you can give me an example of something that has happened that hasn't happened on a date, then also give me an example of what that thing is without telling me what the name of it is. Okay. Because everything that happens has a name, has a label, has an identification of some kind, right? Because we live in a consent-based universe, but it's also a universe of duality, separation, right? Light versus dark, hot versus cold, hard versus soft. Like it's duality. Okay. So everything that happens has a name and everything that happens has a date. When you do something, you incarnate it, you manifest it, and it has those, all of a sudden you can work out the numerology, the incarnation contract of quite literally anything. And it's crazy to me that from the day we were born, every single one of us, even animals, right? Anything that happens on a date and has a name, from the date of birth, we have had everything. We have had all of the knowledge, everything that we could have ever wanted to know about ourselves, our life, our life's purpose, our soul, where our soul is from, what our soul wants to do here and is supposed to do here, what our soul's purpose is, like how we're supposed to do that, fulfill that soul's purpose, and when are we supposed to fulfill on that, and everything. Did we incarnate with the intention to have children and become mothers and fathers, or did we incarnate to not do that? Every single thing that we have ever wanted to know about ourselves, our existence, our mission, our path, our destiny, our soul, everything has been with us since birth. Everything that you've ever wanted to know about yourself has been with you since birth. You signed a contract, you incarnated here on a date, and you agreed to a specific name that literally, it literally is a blueprint for your existence here. And you would be, if you have had a reading with me, then you will understand how scarily accurate these readings, these incarnation contracts are, how scarily accurate and detailed this information is. Literally since the day you were born, you have this information. Okay. Now, part of my soul mission is that, like, my soul was there in the creation of numerology however many eons ago. Okay. And Earth is the third planet that my soul has brought this modality to. The intention behind creating and bringing this modality to Earth was purely for the empowerment of the individual sovereignty, right? Imagine everybody understood that everything I ever need to know about myself and what I'm supposed to do here and how I'm supposed to do it and when I'm supposed to do it is with me since birth. And we understood that from birth, and everyone, our families understood all of that information and related to us and parented us and, put us in the right environments when it came to learning and education. Some people, it really doesn't work to be in the school system, and so they really struggle in that system, not because they're stupid or dumb or no, but their specific energy type, that would absolutely not only be not conducive to their energy type, but it would actually be quite damaging and detrimental to their energy type, So understanding, like if we each understood this is true, this is sovereignty. No one can mess with you because you know you so deeply, so profoundly, and also so simply because it's your freaking date of birth. Everybody has one, and it has major impacts for who you are and everything to do with who you are. So the intention behind numerology is for sovereignty for the individual, because this is what happens, right? The more sovereign you are within yourself, the more connected, the more authentically connected you can actually be to everyone and everything else. So people can get a little bit confused that, sovereignty for the individual means you're living an isolated life and, you know, you're a loner and you're by yourself and you're disconnected and all this, like it's all about you. And no. The more we truly understand ourselves, the more we truly know our truth, right? Truth and authenticity is like the highest vibration. It vibrates at the highest frequency. So when we're all vibrating at our truth, at our highest frequency, I mean, we all get along. Everything works, right? And it's divine. It's like, you know, this is when we all actually work well with each other and are truly connected and all of the above, right? So this is the original intention behind numerology. And then a few thousand years ago, there was a very small group of individuals that incarnated here. Let's call them, I don't know, what can we call them? A group of Voldemorts. Okay, it's one way to put it. Voldemorts, Satanists, Freemasons, whatever label, Luciferians, whatever label you want to give that group of people, you know, people with very dark intentions, discovered this beautiful thing called numerology and thought, oh, that seems like something that we should keep to ourselves. And not only keep to ourselves, we should invert it and then use it against everybody else so that we have all of the power, knowledge of the universe, and they don't, you know. And that's what's been going on for a very long time. And that's really not okay with me. It's like, you're messing with my shit, man. Like, no. This is not okay. And this time in history is a very, very pivotal, there you go, can't speak, pivotal time in human history. So I think I chose a pretty good time to incarnate back and come back here and not only take this beautiful, sacred, divine modality back from this group of Voldemorts, but also actually restore the numbers to their true essence. This is how I teach the numbers in my course. I don't tell people in my course all the ways that the numbers have been used and manipulated, right? I teach them the true essence of the numbers, the truth about them, the beauty, the divinity. Every number, of course, has its challenges because we live in a duality universe. So, of course, we cannot just teach the love and light stuff. We need to know the challenges, the darker sides, or whatever you want to call it. I choose to call it the challenges, right? So I teach about this, but I definitely don't teach how the evil use this, right? So to take the numbers back, to restore them to their original true essence, and then, of course, put this back into the hands of the individual, which is where it was intended for in the first place. If everybody understood everything about themselves that they ever needed to know, right, from the day they were born, we would be a race that would be virtually ungovernable. And as we know, being ungovernable is very bad for business. Okay, so this is my soul's purpose, part of it, of course. And this is what I'm here to do. This is why I've got to love the readings that I get with people, because I'm constantly learning and relearning, and human beings are evolving and humanity is evolving. And so, of course, numbers have to evolve with everything else. And it's like the chicken and the egg. Is it the numbers evolving, or is it humans evolving? And who knows, really? At the end of the day, there is evolvement. And we've got to keep up with that. And so I love learning all the time through the readings with, wow, this is a way that the numbers are being expressed that I haven't seen before. That's so cool, So I love doing the readings and what people get from these readings, because in one succinct session, right? And I say succinct, the sessions are 2 hours, but this is pretty succinct when you have been searching for this information your entire life, right? So a 2-hour session is pretty succinct. In one session, people get not only validated, right? Because people go their whole lives thinking either I don't belong anywhere. Where the heck, I don't understand anything that's going on here. Everyone else seems to, but I don't. What's going on? But because it's the status quo, you start to feel like you're the crazy one, you're the stupid one, you're the slow one, you're all of this stuff. And, so in a session, that experience can be validated. There's actually a reason behind why you feel that way. There's actually a reason behind why you feel that way. And, people can travel the world in search of something, in search of their truth, in search of who they are. What's crazy is it was with you the entire time, literally, because it's in your date of birth, right? So everything that a human being spends their life searching for, all of the answers, right? This is what's crazy, is that we have been trained and programmed to, when we feel an insecurity, we've got to go external, right? We have to go external. In fact, that is what these entities are, that they feed off: our insecurity, our fear, our shame, all of this stuff, our feelings of being lost. Oh my gosh, a human being feeling lost is great for business, because let me show you, I've got all the answers for all the directions. You should try all these directions, right? The more money you spend in our universities to try all the different avenues that you can possibly try, for the better. So, one session, you can understand everything that you've wanted to know about yourself, right? And, well, I won't say everything, because far out, I could really do a reading for days and days and days and still not get to the bottom of everything about this person. But you can get through quite a lot of information that, holy shit, it's like you've been living in my brain my entire life. And I've not said some of these things out loud, but you're saying them out loud. And that's so validating for me, because I've felt crazy my entire life. And some people feel like they have such a strong knowing of they're here for a bigger purpose, for a big reason. They're too scared to say that out loud, because there's all this ego connotations attached to that, who am I, right? But regardless of all of that, that feeling, that experience is still there. So, but what is it? What am I here for? I've got no idea. So this is what's so wild to me, is that we have this information, as I said, from the day we are born, and it's so simple. It's just numbers. And I know that a lot of people relate numbers to maths and, school and maths and blah, blah, and then they just shut down at that point, right? But that's not what numbers are. They are an expression of something, and they are you. So understanding your numbers is your key to understanding yourself, right? So I love doing these readings. I love it because I love the learning that I get, and I love what people get from them. You know, they are big in the sense that, yes, they're 2 hours, but also they're big in the sense that most likely after you have a reading with me, you will spend a few days processing and integrating this information. They are recorded, so you will get to listen back. But you'll be making some big changes in your life for the better, and So anyway, love the readings. However, I can't do what I'm here to do with just doing readings. I need to empower people. I love doing the readings, but you know what? For me, it's like that old saying, and forgive me if you've heard me say this before, that old saying where you can feed a man a fish, you can give him a fish and he'll eat for a night. Or you can teach a man to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his life. That for me is so powerful, because that is another, it's like sovereignty, empowering sovereignty with people. The more, like, the less you have to go external to yourself for, particularly when it comes to understanding yourself and empowering yourself with information about yourself or about your family, about your children, about your husband, right? The less you have to go external, the more power you have within yourself. And the more power you have within yourself, the more empowered you are with yourself and about yourself, the more confidence you have with who you are and what you're doing, and also just more clarity. I believe that numerology is the be all and end all and everybody should join me and right. No, I do not. Absolutely. However, given the fact that literally everything happens on a date, including us, and everything that happens on those dates has a name, right? Numbers form the basis of literally this existence, of everything in this reality. So it makes sense to me that this information, numerology, should 100% be fundamental knowledge that everybody has, right? In the same way that everybody understands how to freaking drive a car. Like, that's like a rite of passage for most people in life, is that, you know, you get to a certain point in life and then we've got to do the driving lessons and you're going to drive, and driving gives you a sense of empowerment, of sovereignty, of, you know, individual, you know, like independence, and gives you the ability to go places and do things, right? This is the same thing. It's the same as that, except probably a little bit more important than driving, right? So yeah, this should be fundamental knowledge for everybody. I think everybody, every parent, oh my gosh, every parent should have this information, is like understanding their children, giving like a blueprint. This is your child. This is the kind of life they've signed up for. This is the energy that they're under between this age and this age. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to maybe focus on and, you know, prepare and like have going on for them, and, you know, like far out. This is everything. Every parent should have this information. Every coach, every therapist, like this should be fundamental knowledge in our reality, because it's a numbers-based reality. It's an energy-based reality. So this is why I have to teach it. This is why I have to give you the information. I give everything, you know, in the courses that I do, everything. Like every session is recorded so that you can download that to your devices and replay it over and over and over again as many times as you need to. All of the course material, everything, the course itself that I have written, all of the numbers and all of the methods and all of the calculations and ways of doing things, everything is all, you get everything. I give everything away in the course so that you have it. You have it for yourself, and contact with me afterwards for as long as possible whenever you have questions and, you know, need support with stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is why I have to teach it. I have to put this wisdom, this knowledge into your own hands. I think when you have this information yourself, then you can eat for the rest of your life. But not only you will eat, your children will eat, your husband will eat, your business will eat, your business will freaking feast having this information, right? So I just think this is way more efficient, and I'm all about efficiency, okay, rather than constantly having to go back and consult. No, dude, let's just, doesn't matter who you are, whether you want to do readings or not. But I really want a lot of people to do readings. I really, 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 really want. People tell me that I'm crazy for teaching this because they're like, you're going to lose all your business. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I want to create an army of people that can do readings for people, because that means then there's more people out there, you know, having access to this vital, fundamental information. Like, oh my gosh, you know. And so yeah, I'm super, super, super excited with where things are going and the momentum that has been flowing for numerology itself. Just a few years ago, it was virtually like unheard of. People maybe knew about it, but like, what numbers? What do you mean? What are you talking about? It's such an ancient modality. Definitely not the most common one, which is crazy and also makes sense, right? Anything that's like hidden, so to speak, is probably something that you want to pay attention to. And with the future that we're heading into, with AI and everything like that, AI is freaking coded with numbers, you know. So I'm so passionate about people investing in their HI, their human intelligence, because there's going to be a point where this freaking AI, you won't know the difference, you know. So yeah, come and do my course, basically. We start on the 18th of September. That is the next one. The one after that is the 10th of November, which is a Sunday morning, because I wanted to, there's been some people in the US that actually want to join the course, but our time doesn't work for their time. So the Sunday morning from 11, I think it is 11 my time, which is Sydney, Melbourne time, is about 9 p.m. depending on where you are in the States. So you can now join and do the numerology course. I will also be, which I'm super excited about. I've noticed that when people get to the end of my master's course and I've given them all of the information, everything that they need to know to be able to basically do what I do when it comes to numerology. So they have all that knowledge. They now know how to do it, but not necessarily the confidence. Like it can be like, whoa, all right, where do I start? How do I even put this all together? You know, so I am in the process of putting together like I'm calling it the practitioner's course. And this course is specifically, you know, it's for people that actually want to practice numerology, whether it's do numerology readings themselves or incorporate it in what they're doing, or just actually want to build confidence around like all of the information together. So I'm putting that together, and the first round of that will be in the new year. So if you're listening to this and you have completed my master's course, you're interested in that, reach out to me, send me an email, because I'll get you on the waiting list for that. There is a bit of a waiting list, which is so exciting. And I'm so grateful for that. But please still reach out to me and let me know if you want more info or you want to be put on that waiting list for that practitioner's course. Okay, all right. So I'm so excited to, let me just actually, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is the energy. Okay, well, I lie, not the first thing. Everything I'm going to talk to you about is all about energy. But let me explain some context first around what I'm about to get into, okay? Because this is actually really important. So everything is energy, right? And let's look at numbers and specifically dates, okay? So this year, I'm going to start with, there's two levels of this, okay? Sorry, I'm jumping around a bit because I'm trying to feel out which direction I want to go in that I feel will make the most sense without sounding like gobbledygook. Because, you know, numerology is like a whole language. And sometimes I can start speaking the language of numerology and I realize not everyone speaks it. So, so 2024, okay, I'm going to talk about what's called in numerology the universal energy, okay? And this is very important to understand because whenever anyone on whether it's social media or anywhere that talks about numerology and the energy and the numbers of things, they are always, all the time referring to the universal energy, okay? The universal energy basically means the energy that everybody in the world is going to be experiencing during a certain period of time based off the dates that it currently is, okay? Why it's important to understand that this energy, what people refer to, generally speaking, is the universal energy, is because we all are born on a specific date. And when you calculate your birth date in a specific way that I teach you in my course, with the universal energy, you get what is then called your personal energy. Okay, so you feel the universal energy because you're not excluded from being someone that exists in this world, right? You'll still definitely feel that, but you will also have a very personalized experience for that year, that month, that day, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so anytime that you see people referring to things like on social media, they're referring to the universal energy. As I said, you feel it, but it's definitely not specific to you, right? Because there is a specific energy to you for that year. For example, this year, 2024, that is an 8 energy. We're under an 8 energy. Everybody and their goat freaking knows that this year is an 8 energy, right? However, me personally, whilst there is this universal energy hanging around me and I'm definitely feeling the universal energy, me personally, I am under a 7 this year. 2024, I'm under a 7. Next year, I'm under an 8 energy. Okay, my husband, he's under a 6 this year, and my son is under a 3 this year. Okay, so everybody has their own personal energy that they experience. All of this I teach you in the course. This is something that is so powerful. It's like getting keys to the kingdom, okay? Because when you can understand what energy you're under for any specific day, time, past, present, or future, and not only you, for your husband, for your son, you can do it for your business, everything. You then can actually, that is true, like I'm taking the freaking power into my hands and I am literally dictating how my future is going to go because I know exactly the energy my son, my husband, my business, whatever it is going to be under for this particular time. In the same token, I know exactly the things I need to be avoiding based off of the energy that I know undeniably that I am going to be under for that particular day, time, whatever. Okay, so this is so freaking powerful and so simple. This is what I like, simplicity. My brain needs things to be very simple for me to understand them. And if that's the case for me, you can do this, okay? You can do this. So whenever you see things on social media, on the internet, whatever, they're talking about the energy of things, they are talking about the universal energy. Okay, it's like a generalized, everybody's feeling this, and you can kind of go back in time and look at the energy of the universal energy of the year and look at the world events that happened and go, yeah, that freaking makes sense, right? So this year we are universally under an 8 energy. Okay. And so each month then is calculated based off the universal energy. So recently on social media, If you follow me on Telegram, if you follow me on social media, if you are subscribed to my monthly newsletter that I send out every month, give little monthly readings and updates about the numerology and the energy of the month, et cetera, then you have probably heard me say something about this. But this is something I literally had to dedicate an entire freaking podcast episode to because there's so much there for me about it. Okay. So first off, in August, everybody and their freaking goat and their goat's best friend was talking about triple energy in August, right? Particularly on this Lion's Gate day. Now, I personally do not give my energy to any of these hype days is what I'm going to call them, okay? Hype days, Lionsgate, hype. There's so much hype around this Lionsgate portal, you know. I don't give my energy to these things at all whatsoever. Like I said, numbers for me are the first stop. They're the first physical manifestation of energy. Anything beyond that is a further interpretation of the OG. So I always, for this reason, bring things back to the numbers, back to the basics, you know, just tell me in plain English, essentially, because what's Lionsgate? Why Lionsgate? What is that? Where is it from? Why is it called that? Just tell me the freaking numbers in plain English, please, okay? Not knocking, because I know there's a lot of people that, yes, Lionsgate is a real thing, blah, 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 whatever, okay? I do not give my energy to these things. Okay, I'm not particularly fond of labels. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So on this day that people call Lionsgate, the 8th of the 8th, the 8th day of the 8th month in an 8 year. See, already right there, people are, it's a contradiction. Okay, because if you understand mathematics, even in the smallest regard, one thing that you learned very early on is what you do to one side, you always do to the other side, okay? You don't just like do something over here, you don't plus over here, or you don't times over here and then randomly divide on that side. Like, no, what you do to one side, you apply to the other side, okay? This is fundamental information, like knowledge, okay? What you do to one side is what you do to the other. So people are cherry picking different things to suit their needs or what feels right for them. And in this case, with this Lionsgate day, with this, the 8 energy year, see, people are taking the energy of 2024, which is 8, okay, and going, so they're doing that on that side of things, but then they're just focusing on the date, the day of the month and the number of the month and going, yeah, it's a 888 energy because of, well, the 8 shows up 3 times, but you're not you're not doing to one side that you did to the other, right? So there's the face value of things, right, which is the day of the month and then the number of the month that we are currently in. That's the face value. And yes, the face value holds energy and it holds it holds energy within itself, the fact that we're in the 8th month, okay? So, but that is not even scraping the top, okay? The energy of the month is what is significant, the actual energetics behind it. And so you actually have to calculate what the energy of the month is, right, to understand what the freaking energy is, okay, the accurate energy. And for August, the month of August, while it was the 8th month, the energy actually of August was a 7 energy, okay? And the 8th day of August was a 6 energy. So energetically, the Lionsgate, the 888 energy, was absolutely not whatsoever energetically a triple eight energy. It was an 8 energy year, universal year, a 7 universal month energy, and a 6 universal day energy. Not triple eight whatsoever. And in fact, what was so detrimental, so detrimental, because so many people, right, it seems so silly, like, oh, you know, whatever, people put on social media and they talk about this is the energy, so, you know, do this and do that and take it, you know, people are like, oh yeah, but it doesn't really matter, it doesn't make, there are real people in the world that actually see that and go, oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna plan stuff around this and really sit down with my manifestation journal and do my ritual and do all of the things, right, to manifest all of the abundance on this 888 energy day. And what was so detrimental about that, about so much of the population being told, being hyped up about this 888 energy day, is that it wasn't a 888 energy day. And in fact, August was a 7 energy, and there's probably nothing worse that you could have done than focused all of your energy and intention and manifestation on manifesting financial abundance in some way, shape, or form, right? There's nothing actually worse that you could have done on that day, because we were under a 7 energy. Okay, we were under a 7 energy for the entire month of August, and this is why August didn't feel like a freaking high energy abundant month. It was a very intense, not low vibrational, but when you're under a 7 energy, this is not a time to take big risks, ask for raises, do anything big and abundant like that. No, when you're under a 7 energy, this is a time for spiritual growth, emotional growth. Like, this is a time for slowing down, for pulling your energy in and looking within, and introspection, and dealing with any, like, you know, trauma, or, you know, like, spiritual, emotional growth in this way, right? Like, really deeply processing, and, like, you know, very slow moving, like that kind of energy. Absolutely not what everybody was telling you to do. Now what happens, right? Because remember, I said being in the 8th month has some impact, right? But we are being pulled by this overall 8 energy for 2024. Now, when you combine the 7s and the 8s together, what you want to focus your energy and manifestation on is not manifesting abundance, but actually focusing on clearing what needs to be cleared so that the abundance can show up when we are under an 8 energy for the month. Okay. Things like asking for pathways to, like, if you've got, particularly with the 8 and the 7, any kind of financial karma, any kind of financial, when I say karma, I just mean like stored energy that is not dealt with, right? So debt, anything that you owe, you know, anything that's lingering, hanging over you, weighs on you, anything like that. Like, whether it's got to do with financial stuff, well, in one regard, especially if it's got to do with financial stuff, but all of the things in your life that may stop you or inhibit you from producing financial results. Okay, so that sometimes looks like your relationship with yourself, relationship with, you know, the traumas that you've had, relationships with people in your life, like all of this stuff. So that's why on that, like in August, and then especially on that date specifically, the 8th of the 8th was not whatsoever a day to be trying to manifest abundance, because when you do that on that specific date with those energy combinations, all you do, right, is tell the universe that I want to manifest more of what I don't want, that I already have, right? Because I'm not actually doing the work under the energy that I'm actually under, the 7 energy that is pulling for me to do the work that I'm not doing, because I think I'm in an abundant month where I can just say something and it's going to manifest. So I'm not focusing on doing the work or asking for support to do the work or whatever. I'm just leaving that sit there, and whilst giving lip service saying, no, I want all the abundance and all of this stuff. But if you're fundamentally not dealing with this stuff that makes you someone that feels deserving of the abundance that you're calling for, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, universe is going to go, whether you believe in universe, the angels, your higher self, God, whatever, that entity, that energy is going to hear that and go, dude, you're not serious. We're giving you the opportune time to actually focus your energy on this by it being this 7 energy month, and you're just sitting there with like putting words on a paper and not doing this work. No. But you are telling us that you want abundance. So this stuff in your reality is what we're going to manifest. This is what we're going to bring more of to you, because you clearly need to deal with it, right? This is why these social media experts telling you to focus on abundance on this apparent double, triple energy day in August was so detrimental, because all you would have actually manifested is more of the gunk, more of the stuff that you need to clear. So I really hope, okay, that you didn't do that and you didn't listen to those people. But if you did, it's okay. It's not gonna like be so bad, because thankfully you're now listening to this podcast episode, and this is going to make such a difference to you and redirect you back onto a path of true, like what's really going on. Okay. So this was August. Okay. So I'm hoping by now you're starting to understand that there is a huge difference between the face value of something, AKA the date that we are, like the date of the day, the date of the month, and the number month that we're in. That's the face value of something, but the energetics is what you want to pay attention to behind that. Okay, when you can work this out and you can calculate this yourself, it's so much easier, so much easier. You don't need to rely on anybody. Okay, you do this yourself, and then you know what's real and what's not, and you can discern these freaking social media experts or whatever, right? So now we're in September, okay, and I am seeing posts and people talking about how we're in the 9th month. So this is a time to slow down. This is the time to bring things to a close, to complete things, to energetically, blah, 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 right? And whilst 9 energy, yes, the 9s are about endings and completion and letting things go and all of this stuff. Yes, 100%. That is not the energy of September. And nobody that I have seen is actually talking or bringing freaking hype to this month of September that they freaking should be, okay? Because everyone, as I said, everyone and their goat and their goat's freaking goat and the goat's girlfriend of that goat, like, was talking about this 888 energy in freaking August with this Lionsgate thing, and it wasn't even a freaking 888 energy, but nobody is talking about the fact that in September we are going to be experiencing a legitimate 888 energy, not once, not twice, but 3 freaking times in 1 month, the month of September that we are currently in. Nobody is talking about this. Nobody. Everybody is telling you, slow down, bring things to a close. Are you crazy? Are you absolutely insane? Okay, you would have to be giving that advice, because this is not whatsoever the month to slow down, okay? And you're feeling that energy yourself. You are feeling energy that is like pulling you into gear, pulling you into action. You're feeling that, right? But feeling weird because Everyone's like, no, it's September. It's a month of closure. And like pulling in your no. Okay. Now, yes, as I said last time, right? As I said earlier, September, the month that we're in, that face value will have an impact on the energetics for sure, because the number 9 is there. We're in the 9th month. That is going to impact the energetics of right now, okay? But it is not the actual energetics. When the 8s and the 9s are combined, right, you do want to bring things to a close, but the things you want to bring to a close are the things that you know are limiting you from actually creating the abundance. Okay, so whilst August was about the spiritual aspect of it, the introspection part of it, going to therapy, or, you know, dealing with your trauma, or whatever, this 9 energy month, being in September, which is the 9th month, bringing that energy with the 888s, this is a very powerful time to actually end areas of your life that are severely impacting your ability to pull in abundance, okay? Whether that is a relationship, end it. You know what I mean? End in action places for you where you don't think you can. For example, whilst also simultaneously planting seeds to call abundance in at the same time, okay? So tomorrow, right now, it's Sunday the 8th. I really wanted to get this episode out way sooner than this, but I've been absolutely freaking swamped. So you're getting it when you're getting it. Anyway, so tomorrow is the 9th of September. The 9th of September is the first of 3 888 energy days, okay? We cycle through the numbers. We have 9 numbers. That is it. That's all we have. 0 doesn't necessarily hold its own energy, okay? You think about what happens when you add more zeros behind a number, it magnifies that number, or it can be like a space for potential, like the blank in Scrabble, or it can be like a bit of a portal space, right? So like things can transport right through that 0 energy almost immediately, okay? Anyway, I won't go into that too far because it's confusing, but 9 numbers. We cycle through these 9 numbers every day, every month, every year. So we are under an 8 energy year for 2024. That means that the next time we're going to be under an 8 energy is in 9 years. So that means the next time we're going to have the opportunity where we have 3 times a triple energy in 1 month is not going to be for another 9 years. Nobody and their freaking goats are talking about this. And it's so freaking important, because if you are interested in manifesting and creating abundance and ending cycles of scarcity and poverty, even at a mindset level, you don't want to have to freaking wait another 9 years, right? When the opportunity is here right freaking now. So the 9th of September is the first of 3 times that we're going to be under a 888 energy day. Okay. Now, between now and the 9th of September, or on the 9th of September, this is the time where I would highly recommend you do the things. Okay, that is my recommendation. Do the things. I'll get more specific. Okay, so if you have debt, either on the 9th, so I don't know, whenever you're listening to this, I want you to, like, as I go through this, stop and take notes, okay, because this is really critical. So I want you to actually write a list. Write a list of all of the places where you either owe money, or you have bills, or you're in debt of some kind, or you owe someone something, anything, whether it's I said I would do da 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 for so and so and I haven't done it yet and blah blah blah, anything like that, anything that is lingering, anything that is left over, I want you to write a list of those things. Okay. Then I want you to write another list of areas where you either need to like where you know you're worth more and you're not getting it. Okay, so either you're about to launch something and you're about to charge too cheap for it, or you've been in a job and you're not getting paid what you should be getting paid or what you feel you're worth. Any kind of area like this, okay, where you're not getting your right amount, your right worth, whatever version of that is for you, write a list of those things, okay? Because on the 9th, okay, I want you to take a big action. I want you to submit your formal request for asking for a raise, okay? I'm using this as an example. Okay, I am not a financial advisor. I cannot advise all of this legal things that I'm supposed to say. Okay, this is what I would do if I was in your shoes. Look at me backtracking here. General advice, you can choose to take it or not. It's all up to you. But what I would do is from this list, I'm going to use the example of asking for a raise, okay? In that one action is you ending in a cycle of scarcity, of fear, of worry, of poverty, right? Where, oh no, I can't ask for a raise because what if they say no? What if they fire me? What if they get someone to replace me that's going to work for cheaper and all of this stuff, okay? You're ending that cycle, okay, which is what you want to do because we're in the 9th month. This is how you want to use the 9 energy of September, okay? So you want to use it to actually end a cycle that's not serving you in terms of opportunities for abundance, okay? So in that one action, you're ending that cycle, but you're also simultaneously planting a seed called, hey, universe, I'm serious about this abundance. Look how serious I am. Okay. So you're planting this seed. So on the 9th, I would do some kind of big action like this, whatever that may be for you. Do something like this. It doesn't just have to be one thing. If you're someone who doesn't like to just do one thing, it can be multitudes of things. Whatever shows up for you in listening to this right now, whatever is popping into your head, whatever thoughts you're having about whatever you're doing right now, those are things to not dismiss. Write them down on the freaking list, okay? We want to pay attention to everything that shows up for you as you listen to this right now. Then between the 9th and the 18th, keep doing that. Keep taking those kinds of actions. Keep ticking the things off your list. Keep taking actions that are going to simultaneously end a cycle, but also plant massive seeds, real life, actionable, measurable seeds for the universe to actually grab a hold of and go, oh, you're serious. Okay. Right? Doing this under this, because even just by virtue of being in September, it is a double energy month, double 8 energy. So you don't want to you want to take advantage of every single day of this double energy regardless, okay? But between the 9th and the 18th, keep doing that, keep planting those seeds and simultaneously ending cycles, okay? Then between the 18th, on the 18th, use that triple energy day to do another big action like that, right? Big action, whatever it is, whatever that is for you, okay? Whether it's quitting a job or putting in your resignation or upping your prices or launching a new offering, whatever it is, another big action like that on the 18th. And then between the 18th and the 27th, keep manifesting, keep doing that, keep like, this is the stuff that you want to, the seed, you've planted the seeds, but now let's nurture those seeds. Let's actually water them. Let's do the work that we need to do to manifest them. So the 3 dates that are significant are the 9th, the 18th, and the 27th. Okay, write those down in your calendar, the 9th, the 18th, and the 27th. Okay, these are triple energy days, 3 triple energy, 888 energy days that we are having this month in September. It's very, very, very significant. If you're interested in creating and manifesting abundance, this is the time to do it. So, this is when to get out your manifestation journal. This is the time to do your ritual, whatever your ritual is, right? Whether it's something to do with water or burning ritual, whatever it is, whatever. You could literally do it every day this month, and it will manifest into being under an 8 energy alone, just 1 8 energy. This is a potent energy for manifesting abundance, okay? Within itself, just 1 8. 2 8s. All right. Okay, like now we're getting quite extreme. This is like, all right, like this is hot, right? This is really hot, and I'm struggling to breathe and like keep up with how actually hot it is in here. But 888 energy, I literally I'm going to be, this is like I'm standing next to the sun. Like this is, I'm done, right? Like that's beyond. This is we're in this happens 3 times. So the energy and by virtue of this triple energy happening 3 times, the whole month of September is like sizzling freaking hot. So every single day, this is why it's like, yes, this is why on those 3 dates, whatever that big action is, use the backing of this 888 energy to back you on those big actions, those big scary ones. But in between, work on nurturing those seeds, okay? Whether it's your mirror affirmations or writing in your journal or your actual whole ceremony or ritual that you do to manifest, whatever, every single day, anything that comes out of your mouth is from an abundant place, right? There's no lack, there's no scarcity, because everything that you speak will manifest. So you only want to speak things that you want more of, okay? But like this is the case, full stop, all the time. You should only be speaking things that are abundant and amazing and all this kind of stuff. Words are spells, they create your reality, et cetera, except when you're under a 888 energy. You're in a month where there's 3 888 energy. The entire month, everything. You bet your bottom dollar that you say out loud will come true, for better, for worse. So this month is the month to really focus in on that. As you can see, it is not a month to slow down, to bring things to a close and to end, wind your energy down and get ready for a new beginning. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a month to go 500 miles an hour and just manifest the shit out of everything, and really set yourself up for the next freaking cycle that we're heading towards, okay? So that is at a personal level with you, okay? What I recommend to do for you in your life, another, again, not a financial advisor. I actually really don't know that much about finance and the finance world and blah, 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 all that stuff. So please don't come knocking at my door with your pitchforks when, this didn't happen, blah, blah, blah. And that's a really good point. Thank you, me, for making that point. Is that don't freak out when these manifestations don't happen the next day. Okay, even being under a 888 energy 3 times this month, don't freak out when they don't happen the next day. Everything happens in divine timing. Everything happens in divine timing, okay? So just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it's not happening. It's happening when it is supposed to happen, and it needs to happen when you're the most ripe for it to happen. Okay. And there are times when a certain sequence of events needs to happen first before you can experience what you are manifesting. I mean, far out. Is this true for me in my life? Okay. So trust. This is the part where you have to fully trust and surrender. Again, universe, whatever you call it, will not take you seriously if you're like, please, please send me this abundance while in the background, like worrying that, oh, did you hear me? Okay. Like, do I need to be louder? I really feel like this hasn't happened yet. You know, that energy, that's not, no, you actually need to be. This is why at the beginning of this month, I really focus on actually ending those kinds of cycles in action with big actions, right? That are going to, in reality, end you relating to yourself in a small way. Okay. The example of asking for a raise. My gosh, you do that and you will be relating to yourself in a very different way. All of a sudden there is like groundedness in your voice, and you cannot mess with me because I know my worth and I'm asking for it. And you know what? If you don't give it to me, well, you don't see my worth, and therefore I'm going to go somewhere that will see my worth, right? That is a very powerful position versus, oh, please, can I, like this would really be great. Like this would really be great, but, like, is it going to happen? I don't know. These kinds of things don't really happen to people like me, do they? And it's not really in my genetics and my family and all of these. No. You're just giving the universe all the reasons why you don't want it, why it's not for you, right? No, who you are is an abundant person. And again, going back to standing up for your truth. When you vibrate at your truth is the highest vibration. You cannot be messed with. Okay. So that is at the individual level. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about at the universal level. Okay. And what I mean by that is in the world. There's some shit going down in the financial systems of the world. And it's been building for some time. And we're going to see some big things in September, okay? Big things, very big things. There has been already some major banking institutions in China and even in America, in the US, that have gone under, basically, and everybody's lost their money. Okay, so I believe that this is something that is going to really, like, there's going to be some kind of crazy crash, right, that will probably start in the US and then it'll spread through the Western world. And it's not going to all happen in September, okay, but there will be some big news stories. There will be some big events that occur this month financially. There are people that know about real estate and finance. I don't know about this stuff, okay, but what I'm hearing from them is that in the US, there has been in the real estate industry, a 34% drop already this year, I believe, and they're predicting that house prices or the value of housing and of real estate is going to halve, like 50%. It's going to start in the second half of 2024, which makes sense because we are under the 8 energy. Okay, 8 is all about money and finance and all this kind of stuff. But being under a 888 energy and with all of the money that all of the governments are in debt with, after COVID and everything, et cetera, like, it's catching up to them. It has to catch up to them. And there's going to be just prepare yourselves. Do not give in to the fear. Do not give your energy to the fear that is going to severely be pushed around this stuff, because you know, you can push the limits for people with their privacy, with their bodily autonomy. But when it comes to money, this is where this is particularly in a reality that we've been conditioned to put a lot of our own value in the amount of money and material that we have and possess and can show to the world, right? When the money gets threatened and is a threat of basically not being there, when this gets taken from people, this, I think you are picking up what I am putting down. Think about all of the people that you know then went and they got the thing over the last couple of years because their ability to earn money was threatened. What happens when money, that money that they sacrifice so much for, is then threatened? What's left? So it's not going to be an isolated thing that happens just in September. September will likely be the beginning of an unfolding of something. Next year, 2025, we are under a 9 energy. That's a 9 universal energy for that year. So this next year's, look, what I will say is buckle up, because there's been a lot of exposure happen this year, 2024, under this 8 energy. And next year, we always feel the pull of the next energy much before, right? So that we're moving towards 2025, we're already feeling the pull of that 9 energy and even the 5 energy, right? How many of you are already feeling like you need to travel of some kind, you need to move, you need to make a change of some kind? That's the 5 energy for 2025. But also the 9, it's a 9 energy. 2, 2, and 5 is 9. Okay, so this is, things are going to really, there will be lots of endings, significant endings, but all the exposure for things to come to an end, exposure needs to happen. The truth needs to be told. Everything needs to come out for it to end fully and completely in order to begin a new cycle, which we will begin in 2026. Okay, so next year is going to be a pretty intense year. People are going to be very ragey, very on edge. This is what happens when you're under a 9 energy. You become very on edge. Your tolerance for things becomes, put it this way, anything that people have been putting up with for any amount of time, they've just been putting up with it and putting up with it and putting up with it. When you become under a 9 energy, this is when the lid flies off and something small will happen, right? Something small will happen, like someone didn't put the freaking spatula back in the right spot, and all of that which you have been putting up with and tolerating for all of that amount of time, it just explodes and comes to the surface. This is what happens when we're under a 9 energy, and this happens so frequently and so often, and it's very, very, very intense for the person experiencing it, but also obviously for everyone else around them. Now, everybody's going to be under this energy next year, so there is a lot that everybody has been tolerating individually, which then is a collective energy, right? It's going to be a massive year, and in like energetically with what is going to be brought to the surface and then exposed, and people are really like, yeah. When 9 energy is like a universal energy, it is, Tesla said when you understand the truth about the 369, you unlock the truth to the universe, right? Focusing on the 9 energy, the 9s are universal energy. Their mode of communication is literally energy itself. We understand each other based off an exchange of words that happen. 9s understand each other based off the exchange of energy. Well, everything in this universe is energy. So it's like, if you want to tune in to the 2 frequency station, you've literally got to actually tune in. You've got to be born with 2 energy, or it needs to be in your life path number. It needs to be under your name for you to be tuned in to the 9, the 2 frequency radio station. But the 9s have access to all stations. Full stop. Okay? They are the station. So, for example, 9/11, the reason why that had to happen with the 9 energy there in frickin' September, okay, is because when something happens under a 9 energy, right, it happens everywhere. Everybody feels it. They have access to every single station, meaning every single person energetically everywhere. Anything that is energy anywhere felt the impact of 9/11. Even no matter where you were in the world, if you were alive and you were conscious and you were breathing and you had the ability to process, right? I'm basically saying this because if you weren't like a 2-year-old, you were some kind of like a teenager, an adult, elder, whatever, oh my gosh, my words. You felt the impact of this event happening. You felt it energetically within you, and you probably still feel the trauma from that event. So that was a huge ritual, huge like satanic ritual, right? And they did it under a 9 energy. So that energy of that ritual just went dispersed amongst every human being, everything that feels, and they felt it. This is what happens with the 9 energy. Next year, we're under a 9 energy. Do not give in to the fear, especially being under a 9 energy, because you're being under a 9 energy, your energy is up for grabs, so to speak. So I'll do a fuller episode specifically about 2025 because it's obviously a big topic, but why I'm saying this is because this is where we're headed. Okay, this is where we're going. This is why right now, particularly with what's going to happen and what's going to unfold in the financial systems of the world, right? It's so important, so vital for you to use the energy of this month to set yourself up for what is to come. This is why it is so unethical for these social media freaking experts to tell you to wind your energy down this month. Oh, it's so unethical because that is literally setting you up to fail. You do that. You wind your energy down and you bring things to a close and you don't, and you basically just say, no thanks, universe. I don't want the abundance that you're offering me right now. No thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. Even though there's going to be huge financial crashes and real estate's going to go down the toilet and all of this stuff, and I'm probably going to be in a really shitty position because I didn't take the opportunity this month and I listened to a social media expert that told me to wind down my energy and bring things to a close and not focus on manifesting abundance. And I focused on manifesting abundance when actually I should have focused on my own spiritual growth. Okay. So please, this is part of the reason why in the practitioner's course, people that there will be assessments and, I'll be offering people or giving creating like a database on my website of people that are like GG approved, readers. Because, not because I want to, create some kind of like I'm a person of status or hierarchy or whatever. I just want to be able to people to understand and know that, okay, like I can actually this is a reliable source. Okay, this is a reliable source of this information. If this person has learnt from this person, okay, this is a reliable source, because there's so much out there. There's so many people out there. There's so many accounts. There's so many things out there that are saying crazy stuff that is inaccurate. Like it's this, one of the accounts that was talking about September and bringing things to a close has 5.8 million freaking followers. 5.8 million followers. So not a reliable source. You bet your bottom dollar I reached out to them and said, hey, I have a course coming up. Would your content writers like to do it so that you can actually give people accurate information, not information that is utterly detrimental to where we are headed? Like, you got to zoom out and look at the big picture. So I really hope that you understand from this month is a really important month to not slow down. Please do not slow down. Please work your butt off on all of the things that you need to end within yourself, like things that will simultaneously end a cycle for you, right? Energetically, okay, because you're holding any self-doubt, any self-deprecation, unworthiness, scarcity mindset, any imposter syndrome type stuff, anything like that is energy that you're holding on to, that you're investing in. Whenever you invest in something, you ask for a return on that investment, okay? Under a triple or a double eight energy, that is what you are asking for a return on. This is why to do things simultaneously that will end that cycle and also communicate to the universe, hey, I'm serious. Freaking abundance. This is what I want. This is what I'm worth. This is what I'm here for. Bring it to me now, okay? So important to do this as much as possible, even if it doesn't manifest immediately the next day or this month, okay? You're setting yourself up energetically for the better, particularly as at a universal, at a global scale, everything else is going to freaking crumble around us, okay? So I really hope this has made sense. I hope I haven't set myself up for any kind of legal issues with making recommendations, et cetera, et cetera. This is, maybe I should say something like, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not advice or education. Okay, maybe I'll put that in the show notes. Oh my gosh. But look, there is a saying that I can never remember the person that said this. I can never remember. But basically the saying is, millionaires don't believe in astrology and numerology, but billionaires do. Billionaires do. It's the same as, the freaking founder of the modern pharmaceutical industry, whatever you want to call him. I can't remember his name. Never, not ever, took the freaking drugs that he created. He had his own freaking homeopath, right? The people at the top know this stuff. They know it and they're using it against every single one of us to keep us small, to keep us needing their power, right? Their external power. And so I'm like, screw you. So reach out to me, whether you are someone who has had a reading with me and you're like, all right, I gotta put my hand up and I have got to do this. I've got to have this information and empower myself and my family with this information. And do my course. The next one, as I said, starts on Wednesday night, the 18th of September. That's on purpose. And the next one is on the 10th of November if you're in the US. That is a much better time for you. So everything. You can find all of the information for the courses on my website, which is georginagrace.net/numerology. You do get a nice little discount if you sign up to both courses up front. There's a code on the website for you to use to get that discount. Otherwise, you can just send me an email at connect@georginagrace.net and I'll forward you all of the information. You can find me also on Telegram. Just search Georgina Grace. I'm there, and I'm also on Instagram as either at Georgina Grace _ or my numerology page is at Law of Numbers. So there we have it. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for listening to this epic episode. I love any opportunity to talk numbers with you. And please reach out to me, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. If you have questions, I know you're going to have a million questions. And if you do have a million questions, either you got to book a reading with me or you got to just book into the course. Seriously, you need to have this information. Everybody freaking needs to have this information. So I'll see you soon.